All right, ladies and gents, welcome to quarterfinal number 2 in the Genesis AoE4 tourney. With me, I have Nilly, or I'm with him, whichever way you want to spin it. We have MarineLord versus Mista. Nilly, this will be a very fun set because we have players that are not very well known within the Age of Empires 2 scene, making it to a very significant position to start off this Age of Empires 4 journey.
But very well known in the community of other games. For example, let's start off with Mr. MarineLord, considered to be one of the best European StarCraft 2 players right now, and even having some really good runs in international tournaments, plus also dipped his toes in Age of Empires 2, and I think after 9 months or something, already made it into like top 50 in the world, like 2.3k, and an incredibly gifted RTS player. On the other side, Mista, some people see him as the favorite for this whole tournament, has some crazy macro, very clean gameplay, and was very dominant in Age of Mythology and Age of Empires Online.
Yeah, and I have such a sweet spot, or a soft spot, I guess, for Mista because I had experience with him and talked to him back in 2017 when he started playing some H2, and he has some confidence to him, Nilly. Not arrogance, but I remember speaking to him, and he said, yeah, I think I could be 2K2 in like a month. Took him a lot longer, and I don't think he ever got there. And real life caught up with him, but he has really been strong with strategy, and I think that Age 4 is just a lot more similar to maybe some of those other games he dominated in. And he also doesn't have as much time commitment elsewhere right now, and I think that's the difference maker. MarineLord, I would say mechanically, based on what I know, the better of the two, but he's also like engrossed in a StarCraft 2 event right now.
Yeah, he was still playing a DreamHack on, I think, Thursday or something. So maybe not the full focus there. And Mista, he's going potentially for a special strategy. The strategy that he played against Villice in the qualifier. Double scout opening. And we will have to look at his berries. He might drop an early mill. He might go for the professional scouts to try to get carcasses closer to his town center.
Yeah, great. I'm gonna wait for that mill to get like the exact wording on that. But you had said that basically what he did was he started collecting the hunt, bringing it home with that technology, and then he was unrateable in that game.
Yeah, and that's so nice, and I would love to see it again. Obviously now a known strategy, right? That was shown, and most of the players are actually right now hiding their profile, so you can't actually see how they trained, how they played in qualifiers. But the Mista played against Villice, who didn't care at all, and therefore those recorded games were still public.
I'm really curious, though, if MarineLord would pay attention to that stuff. It could be wrong. I mean, it would be kind of foolish not to look.
Well, I made a clickback video like how you solve French Mirror. He surely saw that one.
I'm sure that Mista gets... Yeah, I'm sure he's hit that subscribe button, the like button, and the notification bell for your YouTube channel, Nilly.
And you look at that. Waypoint on the berries. I think Mista is trying to go for this approach.
Right.
4 on gold already. It's a really costly upgrade, though. I think 52 wood, 192 gold. So you fall behind early on. But your base is so nice and compact.
I talk about MarineLord on the other side. He's going for the Council Hall, playing as the English here. So normally expect to see some archers maybe mixed in with some infantry. And there's the mill, Nilly. That's all I care about right now.
Give me the upgrade. Give me the upgrade. He has the resources. Professional scouts in 3, 2. Oh, it's a feudal age upgrade. Okay. Well then, in 30 seconds.
Well, the countdown wasn't great. It feels bad, man. Hey, by the way, just to verify, I'm at 414. Are you as well?
I'm 430.
Oh, really? Okay, so I'll click the button. Yeah, I loaded in a little late, so we're good now. Just want to make sure when you do your 3, 2, 1s that we're on board.
Okay. Now we can look. Click the mill, Tristan. Hover over with your cursor.
Yeah, I see it.
3,
Scout ability. Okay,
2, 1. I will click with you. There you go. Look at Nilly the predictor.
You're still a second or two ahead of me for some reason. This is very
No,
weird.
I already screamed of excitement before it started.
I gotcha. All right, well, Nilly's done his homework here. I like it. And so, how effective do you think this strategy ends up being in terms of the food gathering? Like, I obviously understand the aspect of bringing in the food being good for the safety of your vills, but in terms of the efficiency long term, do you think this is super efficient?
Well, simply because that the carcasses have 350 food, that
Mm-hmm.
already is pretty nice. Plus, deer is simply faster than sheep or berries. So
Mm-hmm.
your food income will be better than the one of MarineLord guaranteed, and you should get more night numbers out. Obviously, like more night numbers compared to the English quite easily, but
Mm-hmm.
also the stable can be added a bit earlier.
And we've got archers and spearmen heading out towards that area right now. And also Marine Lord very active with his scout, Nilly. Not sure if you noticed it, but he just spotted the outpost going up. So he knows that that's going down there. And here he goes. He sees the hunt. So if Marine Lord didn't do his research, he now knows or should know what the strategy is.
Knight's actually hiding in a tower. I still feel that's so
It's really
unnatural.
good. Oh, jeez. But okay, Marine Lord sees this. And this is kind of how I expected this matchup to go here today, Nilly. I expected more strategic approach from Mista, but Marine Lord to be more in your face. I'm going to kill you, a pressure player.
I feel like the tower could have been placed like one or two tiles further down, more
Okay.
towards the stone there. Oh, he's building a second mining camp, also cheaper for French. And now look at
Okay.
that, the scouts bringing the first carcasses.
Okay, so is there an indicator when casting to show how much it's holding and everything?
You can only carry one deer.
One full
Oh,
deer. You can't
yeah,
carry like a
yeah,
partial.
yeah,
Yeah, okay,
yeah.
gotcha.
And he dropped it off behind the TC.
Okay, yep, I see that.
You cannot
Okay,
carry
great.
boars.
Yeah, okay, I knew that much. So boars, I think two scouts would even struggle to kill it, to be honest.
Yeah.
But Mista just sitting back and being patient right now, using the eco, and maybe intentionally even hiding where the or how many units he has right now, as Marine Lord is just real hesitantly moving around here, just keeping an eye on things.
Did
He
a single
doesn't.
unit die this game?
No, I don't think so. Oh, there go the knights. We might see a unit die. Here come the knights, and they're going to take one longbowman, and Marine Lord might feel like he needs to do damage with his army right now.
But not really finding it. Goes back at the left-hand side. Woodline was somewhat exposed. Quite interesting that MarineLord didn't really try to commit. Still more spearmen, more longbowmen. Pretty compact base for him as well.
Yeah. I'm trying to keep an eye on the income per minute right now, and it doesn't seem like Mista is at least bringing in more food per minute, which you would think with that investment, that is strategy that you would want at least like for it to be even.
Well, yes, it's 2 on gold versus 9 on gold, right? So that
Yeah, yeah.
simply adds up quite a bit as well.
Yeah, he does have a lot more gold income. Of course, they probably have the same amount of villagers right now.
French should be ahead, no? We have 33 for Mista and MarineLord is at 30. Yeah. French,
Sorry,
faster
just
working
trying
TCs.
keep an eye there. Yeah, do you know how much faster it is?
I
Do you know
thought
the
35%?
35%. Wow. Yeah, it seems just completely foreign to me. I remember Persians had like 5% faster in Dark Age and Age 2, and that got nerfed quick. All right, this could be the fight we've been waiting for. And wow, what great micro there from Marine Lord. Focused down that archer from distance. He knew that getting some damage in on those knights wouldn't have been really the go-to. Those longbowmen though, whew! And I love even the shoot. I forget the name of it, Nilly. The camp. We could heal up his units as well as he dives in for the outpost.
And let's see, Outpost can actually focus down whatever he wants. Spearmen, they are dying at the front. And I think those longbowmen need to micro back.
Yeah, he's focusing down the range units behind this. He's not using his longbowmen against the Royal Knights at all. Trying to use the camp to heal up. That was actually a really good fight for Marine Lord, considering the cost of everything here, I think.
But the tower did some extra damage as well. And I simply think, like, Mista is fine with going long game. And apparently my chat is thinking of very different numbers. I read 20%, 10%, and 15%. And I think I read a different source once that it says 25% somewhere, but it actually is bugged and is 35%.
I mean, I tried to look at the Age 4 tech tree, and I just, like... I just couldn't make any sense of it. Surprised that there's even any dispute on the number right now. I thought that that was a number set in stone. I had heard 20%, which I still think would be too much. But anyways, MarineLord getting a pick off there in the Villager, which I guess he will feel the need to do if it is indeed that high a percentage.
So apparently H4 Tech Tree says 10% in Dark Age, 15% in Feudal Age. And then 20% Castle and Imperial Age.
Okay, well that seems a little more reasonable. I think maybe 30% where he would have had more villagers. How are you looking at the vills, by the way, in terms of...
If you hover over the population at the left-hand side.
Yeah, okay. Okay, that's the only way to do it. I wanted to make sure there wasn't a drop-down I was missing. So how has Mista... And I don't even know if it's fair to say that he's put himself in a hole right now. But when does he start to even move out here, Nilly? Like, if you compare this, to how Kazva played and how Vortex played, they were moving around with the Royal Knights. They were trying to get counters in. Like, there's exposed resources. Royal Knights aren't even charging there. So, to me, it feels like Mista's playstyle is completely different from the players in the first quarterfinal.
It is a different matchup, though, right? English are really good at getting those longbowmen and the spearmen out, and therefore get the early aggression. So I think it only makes sense how Mista played, and he didn't take a lot of bad fights. We had this one major engagement. The tower helped out a bit, and I still would have loved to see like 1 or 2 knights go around and try to punish some exposed berries.
I agree. You don't need to go too crazy with it. Obviously, you're ready to pounce with these Royal Knights and these archers, but with the amount of damage a Royal Knight can do, we've seen so frequently with Age 4, the meta just be stream in a knight or two to the berries or wood line and go for those kills. But I do like how like it almost feels like both players are trying to feel the opponent out right now. They don't want to take any risks. It's like round 1 in a fight, or they're just trying to see, what weaknesses the opponent might have, but they're not really ready to commit to anything just yet.
We have the ranged attack and the anti-melee armor for MarineLord now going for Siege Engineer. So he wants to make a ram go happen into that gold.
I really like that. You can make rams with your military units in Age 4. Specifically archers, spearmen, things like that. And right now he dives in and he's going to get some really quick Vil picks. But does he need to run away here? Immediately deploys the camp so he can heal up. And we see a fight here. But it seems like this engagement was so much better for Mista. The longbows were out of position, Nilly. And Mista's falling, MarineLord falling back here. Still does have the longbow numbers, and he's going to make an outpost behind this. So MarineLord might be able to hold. And honestly, it's still really hard for me to judge the fights. It wasn't too bad for MarineLord in the end. Yeah,
MarineLord's spearmen did lots and lots of damage there. It did go into the hold position. Knights ran in, so they took quite some damage. And Royal Knights still not healing up. Only now we get Chivalry and still 35 seconds away.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, Chivalry seems like such a basic move for Franks. The matchup's different, but Chivalry on the way now. Those will heal up. And I guess he just went for numbers. But what I would really hate to see is any engagements with the weak Knights before Chivalry comes in. Maybe he feels like he has to stop this outpost from going up, though. That's a really strong position for MarineLord. And MarineLord is getting all these hits in on the Royal Knights before Chivalry completes, and the outpost is up now. Great position for MarineLord.
Knight number so small now, and then you don't need Chivalry. It's finishing now, and there's one knight with 30 HP, which will go down as well. Tower up, and MarineLord, he's leapfrogging forward. Nice position here to pressure the gold even further.
I mean, I don't think Age 4 has APM built in, but doesn't it just seem like MarineLord just has so much greater command on his military? Just so quick, man, all the time. Constant pressure, constant scouting. And Mista just lacking confidence here to even take a risk, Nilly. We could have seen a Royal Knight move out and get a counter, which is especially important when the opponent is very good in one ball. We're not seeing the mobile units being utilized at all.
Double the military here for MarineLord. Obviously, pound for pound, Mista is a bit better with those knights. And, now the Ramgo coming in here. Tower already heard from the attack earlier.
Yeah, and this is the perfect time for this type of attack, right? Because you just took out those knights. This is the opposite of a good situation for Mista, and I don't think he has the numbers here. I mean, the Royal Knights will go down here, and then it's archers versus longbowmen, and the longbowmen are currently camping it up here, so they could just heal up as well and say goodbye to more villagers if you're not careful here. If you're Mista, you need more military.
Oh man, tricky, but how do you get into the numbers now? Longbow feel like completely out of control. Numbers are just crazy, and he has 19 longbowmen at the front. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes for another healing. And where do you even get gold if you're a Mister here?
I mean, well, he does have
Left-hand
gold on the
side.
left.
Oh.
He moved over there a little while ago. So he was preemptive in realizing he would lose that. But still, he has taken so many losses. And what's to stop this ram from just going in for the town center now? I mean, he probably can take out the ram, but he has to sacrifice so many units to do that. MarineLord all over it right now, and he dives in. We have to see a fight here for Mista, Nilly.
Yeah, well, he is pushing that ram back, but how many knights did it cost? Like 3, 4, lost another villager. Traded off against some spearmen, which is nice, but longbow numbers just still look so scary, and the ram is now getting some repair.
And the work rate is just so sick right now. I'm loving how MarineLord is playing this. I've always loved aggressive players. Sorry, Fatslaw, but the aggression is always something that's excited me. You have the villagers now repairing the ram. They're like, why are we doing this? Because we didn't even build this. This is unfair. Let us collect the hunt. It's kind of funny that he was collecting hunt in the center of the map that was shot down earlier from Mista.
Oh man, and the TC now under attack again. As we mentioned earlier, lots of HP on the starting TC though, but Mista is kind of forced into fight. Now tries to come from the right-hand side. Oh, longbow's microing back.
Yeah, Mista, he has to take a fight. He has not been in MarineLord's base once this entire game, which is crazy to say when you have Franks. Maybe gave too much respect here to MarineLord and gave him too much time to mass up. Nilly, am I wrong, or is Chivalry not in, or is this because I'm on the wrong point of view here?
Chivalry is in, and you can see it from both POVs. Maybe it was all of them full HP, or they were like in a fighting movement.
Oh, I see it now. Okay. Yeah, it wasn't showing earlier, and kind of situation where MarineLord happy to hit and run. His micro is beautiful to watch. And I have to say, with the way hitboxes are with H4 right now, it is actually not the easiest to always click the unit you want to click. A lot of players are using attack move instead. But he's been focus firing. So he's got those hitboxes figured out, man.
Seems
Making
like
look
it.
easy.
And another attack. Ram still doing so much damage. Here villagers have to be pulled against that ram. Military count not looking too good for Mista though. Loses more and more knights.
Yeah, it just feels like this has snowballed completely. And it's also the eco. There was a time where he had additional villagers. Now he doesn't have additional villagers. Nilly, there's even more talking points that come to mind here. If Mista loses with Franks game 1, we'll get to that. We talked about it in the previous series. And yes, the game ends there. Domination from MarineLord. Like that was... It wasn't like Mista had a bad strategy. I think it was unique. But the execution just was not there for him. MarineLord takes it. It looks like paying attention to StarCraft is actually helping.
And the problem with the approach from Mista is he's playing like the mid game, but
Yeah.
that's an investment of an additional over 200 resources with the extra
Yep.
scout and the professional scout as an upgrade, plus the mill that you don't really need at that point. And yeah, you simply saw how MarineLord got the military out so quickly and had the full domination.
I mean, to me, this feels like a pretty simple mistake from Mista. Like, one Royal Knight does so much damage and can force reactions, Nilly. And he never once tried to move out with the Royal Knight. If you loop in, like we see it all the time in Age 4 now and in Age 2. If you run in and get a little attack in on someone, they have to pull villagers from that area, even if they don't take losses. And what do they have to do? They have to send their military to that area to deal with it. I can't pop back into the game to kind of give people a greater idea of what I mean in terms of army movement, but I think he needed to ask more questions of MarineLord. That way, MarineLord couldn't constantly be pressuring up the middle. Mista needs to be more aggressive than that, or at least sneakier than that in future games.
Yeah. I can see that as well. And now we have to ask the even bigger question. Is this the 2-0?
Yeah, this is
Oh,
the problem.
no. Ah, what am I talking about?
Wait, what?
It is still French mirror on Boulder Bay. I thought
Oh,
like
okay.
now
Well, yeah,
he
yeah,
used French. He can
that's
still
true.
go for French mirror. Okay, it's only
Yeah,
1-0. Calm down, Nilly.
it's funny, Nilly, because my next point was going to be that. Our caster brains were like, oh, we have to think Boulder Bay in French. But because Mista lost with French, he can play with French again. I really hope, like, I have a feeling it's going to be something we talk about, Nilly, but I really hope that French on Boulder Bay is not a reoccurring theme in important sets in this tournament this weekend, because that'd be a little frustrating if that becomes a reoccurring theme.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see that multiple times and that a lot of thoughts have to go in there.
Yeah. Well, I will say this. If the devs were going to make one civilization really strong, and granted, I think there's multiple right now, but picking Franks is the best way to ease us Age of Empires 2 people into it, because Franks have always been like very beginner friendly in Age of Empires 2. They've always been pretty strong, regardless of like what stage you're looking at with them. So if they would have made like some other civilization strong, people would maybe be more frustrated with it. But Franks is Franks, man. Or French, excuse me.
Or maybe just make Chinese by far the best civilization and hope that whole China buys Age of Empires 4.
You know, I always wondered if, like, do you remember when Chinese received block printing? And for years, right? Years, people, like a few people on the forums were like, it doesn't make sense. The Chinese doesn't have block printing in Age 2. This is historically inaccurate. Fix it. But, like, the competitive people didn't really care because Chinese were already really strong. And then, like, the game started, like, the definitive edition came out, and more people started finding the game, and then the devs did it. And I was always wondering, like, they tried to expand the game a little bit more here. Like, why did they do that?
It felt political. It felt political
did.
to me as well. Yeah.
It did feel very political
Yeah.
with the way they talked about it afterwards, too. But in the end, I mean, I think they lost Redemption. So, lose Redemption. Chinese are in a better spot monk-wise anyways.
Yeah. I think for us, it felt so random. But it was like so strict out of one moment. Okay, no, we have to give Chinese block printing out of nowhere.
Right. Yeah, it was the timing on it a little weird. But it's not like the worst change to happen ever.
Yeah.
So I'm actually gonna pull a Nilly here and I'm gonna check Liquipedia.
Oh, clever.
Because there's definitely a few maps that we haven't seen yet, and I want to make sure I'm up to date on those.
Next one will be Arabia, and we will have Rus for MarineLord and Mongols for Mista.
God, I have to say,
both actually had the choice to go for French, and neither did.
Yeah, okay, stop stealing my points here. I was gonna say, with all this conversation with Franks, I'm surprised that we haven't seen it. Are you able to start the spec countdown, by the way?
No, it's not starting yet.
Okay, did they maybe put that on Liquipedia?
No, it's we in the Discord channel.
Yeah, okay.
Of the.
I got too many things.
Yeah.
I think something that needs to be improved, which will be helpful for things like Liquipedia, and then for eventual overlays and whatever else for casters. But the mini maps we're seeing here on Liquipedia are not really the most telling. Maybe I'm just not used to it. But it's kind of hard to tell the difference between some of these. But like with the water.
Did you know that Liquipedia can be edited by anyone? So you can actually take some screenshots from those maps and can upload some more telling map icons, Tristan.
Listen, as a caster, I try and initiate action from others, Nilly, okay?
Okay.
My job is done. I am horrible with technology, as you know, so
technology, taking a screenshot, that's paint, Tristan.
Horrible. It's just so horrible.
Paint.
Speaking of editing Liquipedia, I think I brought this up before, but were you the one who made my Liquipedia profile?
No. I did
Okay.
one sentence on Dave's profile.
What was that?
He's known for his signature saying, "Keep your stick on the ice." He wanted me to add that. I
Yeah.
can't join the game. I can't observe it. I fear that they are in the game without clicking observing activated. Because I
Uh,
see them as in-game, and I can't join. Oh, now they're in the lobby again. I think they might have been contacted.
it might have came back. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the good news is, okay, I think it's going to work now. Yeah, it's working for me now.
Yeah, I think they went back. Nice.
The good news is there's 5 minutes for the devs to figure it out. So we do have a bit of a countdown here. But shoot, what did you say the next map was? My apologies. I should bring up.
Arabia.
Oh, sick. Okay. Well, Arabia, pure lands map, very open. Tend to see a lot of aggression, and we have some really fun civs for Arabia: the Rus and the Mongols. Um, I just find it rather ironic that the Mongols are essentially going to be kind of lamed here in this game. You know, is that funny to you or not funny to you? Coming from H2,
Not funny.
tried. Right? Like, isn't there some type of irony that the Mongols are playing against someone who their bonus is like laming and killing animals? That's kind of what Mongols were in some ways good at in H2. No irony in that whatsoever? It's
Still
just
not
completely
funny.
beyond you? Okay. Maybe funny wasn't the word. What about interesting?
Interesting. Oh, that's basically what actually the Mongols excelled at. And now the Rus excel at that against the Mongols.
Yes, glad to know we're back on the same page, Nilly. Let's go. Oh God, it's funny. I know you well enough where I knew you're waiting for that type of a segue. So, but geez, dude, I will be the first to say that this is not a matchup I've seen too frequently. I've seen a lot of Franks. I have actually seen a lot of Mongols, but I think I've maybe seen 3 or 4 Mongols versus Rus matchups at a high level, and even then, it's a little tricky because high-level games can be stomps depending on the players too, and they weren't the closest. So, any expectations here, Nilly, going into this matchup?
I think it will be TheMista deciding the strategy more than MarineLord will decide the strategy this time.
In what way do you mean that? Like, do you think that MarineLord is still going to take the initiative? Because in some ways, I feel you want to, at least with the mobility, with the scouts and the killing and all that.
Yeah, but that's basically being on the map and generating gold for yourself, right? I think the main attack will be from the Mongol player, maybe Spearman, maybe a tower rush. I don't see the Mongol player sitting back.
Okay. Well, that's good because that's an approach that Mista, I think, needs to change. Earlier in my casting days, I wouldn't get as frustrated when watching games. But nowadays, if I see a situation or a player where they have potential and they don't utilize that potential, it can bother me. And so I think back to game 1 and I'm just like, Mista, dude, 1 or 2 Royal Knights distracting the opponent would be so huge here. Really wish you would have done that.
I
But
also felt the tower was just misplaced. How often did you fight where the villagers were not in the tower, or it took some time, or villagers could have been sniped?
you know, I mean, this is really grasping at straws here. But you know what might have been in the back of Mista's head is he saw the scout around the backside of that gold when he placed it. So maybe he thought he needed that tower a little bit more towards the north because he thought an army would loop around because he wasn't really scouting well at that time.
Maybe that's the thing. Yeah, if you build the tower a bit further down, maybe longbows at the top could deny the gold again.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, it's hard to say now, but you know, it's just so nice to be in the casting booth, man. We just there's no right and wrong answers when we're here, right? We just talk about all the things that coulda, woulda, shoulda. So,
And those are the best players in the world, and I love to see it. Love to see it. And they surely put a lot of thoughts into where to place towers, when to place towers, how to approach it. And oh boy, am I excited to see our two big names from AoE2 later on as well.
I know. I'm really excited. Like, there's definitely some bits of stepping out of your comfort zone, I guess, for me. Like, this is definitely less comfortable, and I'm sure it is for you, than casting H2 because we don't understand everything. But there is also a beauty in that, and I'm having a really good time, and I hope that viewers as well are able to kind of like branch out away from what they're used to along with us right now, as we have MarineLord in the blue, finally in the game number 2, Mista in the red. We have Arabia, love to see it. Mongols versus the Rus.
Interesting approach here, MarineLord. So we are playing Rus. As mentioned before, we are opening with Hunting Cabin. That will generate a bit of gold for you, depending on how many trees there were when you built that hunting cabin. And he's going for a scout pretty early after that one. I can't see it, but I see the waypoint already changed, and goes for a house. Very few villagers on berries. Quite surprising to me. On sheep.
Wait, you said surprising that there's not many on sheep. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just going to pull these builders over to sheep here in a second. Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not the most experienced with the Rus, but seeing him not have more on food is a surprise when he's going to be making a scout from the hunting cabin plus the villagers. But
Even
if he can optimize it, like right now he doesn't have enough food for a villager. If he can optimize it, maybe it'll end up working out for a future strat.
So maybe quickly trying to explain the Rus and why we're going for this wild strategy. You actually gain gold plus some bounty for killing animals. And Wolf, for example, give you a solid 25 gold, plus you get more points and in your tier system. And once you are in the next tier, your villagers harvest more food or faster, plus your hunting cabins also generate more gold per minute. So getting into the tiers faster is really nice for you if you're Rus.
Yeah, I guess like in some weird way, it's maybe similar to polls. You get one resource, you get something else. But I at least like how like the whole killing animals aspect is really nice because it's like you have to do a little bit more. You know, you have to earn it. And I like that. I like to see some freedom of choice and action instead of just, let's put a villager on gold and we get stone or something along those lines. So great activity from MarineLord. And I think this suits him, Nilly. He's got scouts all around the map, killing those wolves, bringing them home to the TC, killing some deer out there. And he's really, really gaining some ground with this scout activity.
So what enemies often do is they will try to kill some deer that is neutral on the map, try to kill the wolves as well. Your TC obviously can shoot those wolves. MarineLord, 3 scout opening. Mista, I'm a bit sad that he did not go for anything. Okay, now he's adding scouts himself. Soon to have 4 scouts himself.
Yeah, so if you're adjacent or near the Uvu, you can make double scouts, and that would be the same if your Uvu is close to the TC with Mongols. You can make double vills. So I believe you have to be within the radius of it, correct, Nilly?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just not seeing the radius for some reason when I click it. But so yeah, that is what we're seeing from Mista, is shooting down those deer. And it's a bit of a funny matchup because in other matchups, you might see them scout each other. But here, they're just like looking for animals right now. So if it's your first game and you play this type of a matchup, definitely focus less on the opponent at the start and focus more on the animals.
Yeah, well, it's giving you gold, right? Look at that, close to 400 gold without having mined any gold this game.
Yep, it's crazy. And you can lead that into the later stages of the game. And I'm also, I like to pay attention to income per minute. I guess we're going to have to toggle through these things, but right now it does seem like MarineLord, more so on wood, more so on gold, makes sense from what we've seen. Mista better off with the stone due to the Uvu, and then you've got also the food. But the food's not that much higher for him right now.
So Mista with his 4 scouts didn't really find too much. Luckily for him, he will find those deer at the very top and should get some kills there. Obviously not really benefiting him directly, but taking away a solid 70 gold from his opponent.
That's a good point there. And I think MarineLord's actually heading out to that area right now, which is interesting because he sees it, Nilly.
Oh, so contesting a bit.
You take the deer before he does. Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's funny. I like to see that. He tried to get a deer, and they're both just going to say just passing and part ways.
Interesting. And only got one of those deers. He's opening with the Golden Gate, which allows you to trade resources quite nicely. So often we saw people go on to gold and then buy some stone for an extra TC. Certainly an option for the ruse. And only now going on to gold. That's really, really late. And that's simply because he got so much gold from all the carcasses he got. Or all the kills against the enemies.
And if you think of it in comparison to H2, right? You have stone in the bank for TCs. Here, it's really expensive and difficult to get that stone. So even when you're up against Mongols, you got to think, like, what if they get to the second TC faster than me? And an attack here from Mista. He is on the gold. He's not doing much damage yet, but he could kill a villager. Seems like the gold just a little too far away from the TC, and yeah, Mista forcing MarineLord to head out of here.
And now you have to question yourself, well, maybe if I went for the Kremlin there, that's basically a defensive building, would have protected your gold, would have made your life a bit easier, or he simply waits, gets 2 knights out, and then he should clear it up.
What's the Kremlin again? Can you remind me?
That's, you can take it as a tower, but way stronger.
Yeah, okay. Well, here you have the Golden Gate almost completed. I guess we should pay attention to his resources to see if he goes for anything funky with that. Because right now he does have 0 stone in the bank, like you said, Nilly, but he's not floating much gold. Of course, did spend gold to make that building. But he's also leading heavily with the food, wood, and gold banked right now. As Mista might go for a second TC here, Nilly. He's got so much stone he could maybe afford it. But then again, he doesn't really have the other resources right now.
Plus, with Mongols, TCs don't cost stone. It costs 900 wood.
Yeah, that's true, because otherwise it'd be too easy to boom with them. Thanks for correcting me there.
Yeah, stone is kind of a mana resource for Mongols. You can't actually build anything that costs stone.
Yeah. And MarineLord has the gold right now, but he's going to go for stables here, Nilly. I like this. And of course, Mista's approach, if he can't easily boom, will be some military as well. At home, he's got the deer stones next to the TC. Like to see that. And here we're going to have the barracks. Wow, barracks stable. So he's going to go spearman, maybe horseman.
Well, could certainly be an option. Not really going for anything yet, mainly for spearmen to defend, harass the gold a bit more at the front. And it feels so weird to say it, but Rus are actually crazy with having knights in feudal age. You think it is so standard because we see so many French games and they have knights in feudal age as well, but those are the only 2 civs that actually have access to that.
Yeah. What's so nice, though, is you can utilize the stone to make double military here. Mm-hmm. So we're seeing that, and there's so many units out here. What I like about this game so far is that we've seen more pressure from Mista, but MarineLord has done a really good job just pulling back the weak villagers. There's been a few instances where if he was sloppy, he would lose vills. Didn't lose those villagers, but there's been no real crazy attack at that gold just yet.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised how he didn't send a knight there, but now he's sending 2. Let's see, the Khan could go back, but he's focusing on the left-hand side first. Khan probably going to go down.
Oh, well, he's going to run away here, actually. And, wow, he uses his ability to get some speed there. But, yeah, you see the knight chasing, and we'll see if there's any support for that Khan, Nilly. It's so close. It's at 13 HP, does heal a little bit. It can fire as well when it runs, but it does so little damage, and the Khan goes down.
Oh, and Mongols actually got 6 carcasses for themselves there, so can carry those hunts home now. And now we can finally write the storyline that you wanted to again.
Yeah, there we go. Mongols loving their lames. Not really a lame, so to speak, but very different in this game. Nice little attack here from MarineLord trying to hit that Uvu, but that's going to mean he needs to run away. But what I like about that, Nilly, is control. You go in, you attack, you force a reaction. Ideally, really good RTS players are going to follow this up with another force to force more reactions, and you see it from MarineLord in the center of the map with some knights.
Mm-hmm. But Mista, he's getting onto a nice spearman count here, surely. Goes for the blacksmith now. I wouldn't be surprised if he's trying to make something happen into the direction of a ram push.
Okay. Eco count even. Rams would actually be pretty tricky to deal with, right? It's a kind of a one-sided composition right now from MarineLord.
Or is it a castle age play? Feels more like it. Flirting with the resources.
Yeah, it's true.
Very close to it, TheMista.
I mean, both players
could
actually be bringing themselves closer to Castle Age right now. They both have a lot of resources.
Interesting.
Yeah.
More carcasses from the top there. And that's like, I don't even want to do the math, because you should never do math on stream, but it's over 2,000 food that they're carrying here. 6 full deers with 350 food each.
Nice job from Mista. So it's clear that he likes to do this, and I think execution has been a little better. You know what I'm curious on long-term with AoE4? Because, like, that's really cool, right? But I'm curious on how the balance is between that. Like, a lot of people might go for... Like, in H2, if you have a hunt map, you start with hunt, and then you eventually transition into farms or something, right? Like, when's that transition come in? How important is a balance there going to be? Here comes Mista. Oh, he's got to be careful here with these scouts. MarineLord sees him, but you do also have Spearman there to maybe save the day. And, yep, he's able to get away there. MarineLord thinks better of engaging. Mista is on the way to the next age. And MarineLord is as well. He's just going to be a minute or so behind.
Okay, really nice play. And we are going for the monastery here, Abbey of Trinity. So that could be really nice. Remember, guys, though, there is a game-breaking bug that is not allowed in this tournament. So if you want to be very sadistic, you can generate an infinite amount of relics. You will surely find a YouTube video for that, but this is not allowed.
Yes, not allowed. And don't be that guy in ranked games either. As much as people abusing that would probably encourage the devs to fix it. Let's not. I think they'll actually be fixed on the Monday patch, from what I heard.
Yeah, very likely.
Yeah. Okay. Bug abusers will be upset. See MarineLord is here. MarineLord trying to get some damage in. But it definitely seems more difficult for MarineLord to do any considerable damage to Mista. Mista seems to be in a much better position this game at 11.5 minutes compared to game number 1.
Yeah, pretty easy defense here, and I still don't really know what the next approach is going to be. Lancer, Hardened Spearman, or what's the plan? Could obviously go for the veteran Spearman, and he got Siege Engineers for himself.
Oh, did he? Okay,
Yeah.
so he researched Siege Engineers. Is there an easy way to see that beyond just seeing him make a ram here, or did you see a pop-up that I missed?
Well, it's not available to be researched anymore if you click the blacksmith.
Yeah, true. That's one way to do it. We gotta branch out with our strategies here, nearly for the casting. But
Yeah.
I think you called it a couple minutes ago, right? It does make sense to maybe consider a bit of a siege push. So great game sense there. And I'm liking the fact we have a game that seems to be extending late. We didn't really have that in the first quarter. Granted, I did miss game 1, and so this may be a game. Granted, there's a lot that will happen in Castle Age, but maybe a game that'll actually reach the later stages and get to see what these civs are capable of there.
Look at the vision of Mista. He has like scouts everywhere, just surrounding.
True.
He has so much vision.
Yeah. Also, Springalds. Springalds are something that might eventually be nerfed. It feels like there's a couple situations Springalds will find themselves in. There's just not much you could do to counter Springalds except like maybe make your own.
Yeah, and that's not a great concept, right? Like,
No.
you want to counter unit? Just build the same, but more of them.
Yeah. Like, I think in theory, something like a knight should be good, but, you have the counters out there. Springalds are really, really strong. And I mean, 4 Springalds here. As you see that poor scout go down and the guy flies off the horse. 4 Springalds is going to be very tough to stop for MarineLord.
5th one now, and yeah, that is a mighty, mighty army. And we want to go for Horse Archers here being MarineLord, but I don't see him having enough time for that transition.
Mista's doing such a good job at spending his resources. I'm looking at current resources, and Mista is... he's got 500 gold now, but he's below 200 food, below 200 wood, and has been for a while. So it's just constantly spending his res, which if you pay attention to RTSs, and I'm sure people listening do, that's what it's all about. That's why villagers are important. You need to bring in the resources to spend the resources, and we could see a considerable push here, as even a ram is being made right now.
Obviously will increase quite some of the damage. Golden Gate there at the front. Maybe a good angle to attack. Scout now looks at the woodline and feels like, okay, that's a good angle to attack. Springalds are going on.
Yeah, all right. Springalds hitting the woodline. Villagers are going to have to leave here. At the very least, Nilly, and then here comes some horse archers.
Counter-attack at the same time. Tristan running into the TC, though. Not sure if I like that one too much.
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea. I think the idea is correct, because he's really at a rough spot at home. He needs to distract, but obviously would have hoped for more damage there, Nilly. And now he's probably thinking, can I surround this army? Because he does have the potential for that position, but there's just so many Springolds here. And here we go. Here comes the fight. Pikeman kind of out of position, Nilly. Springolds could be surrounded by some of these knights, but it doesn't feel like all the Springolds will go down to this. Tricky spot for MarineLord to defend.
Oh yeah, indeed. And still 5 Springolds are around here. Infantry still in solid numbers, and so much of the woodline is going down. Oh, MarineLord is in quite some pain.
Yeah, villagers getting destroyed. And so you can take 2 or 3 Springolds down, but you can't take the rest of them down, and this is only going to get worse. Unless MarineLord can do something. Like, is there potential for a counterattack, Nilly? It feels like that's your best play. Peel something off to counterattack and at least get some counter damage. But even still, you also have to clear this. And this is like, this isn't a Huang rush, right? If you're an HM versus 2 guy, but the whole ball of siege thing is still very tricky to deal with. And I just don't know what to do here if you're MarineLord.
Will be extremely tricky. Knight numbers are simply not there. Horse archers, I think they're fine if they were only facing the infantry, but the Springolds are just so crazy. I'm pretty sure they're just simply, they two-shot those.
Yeah, I actually think, well, I would have to
oh no,
again here.
Big commitment here, Tristan. This could be the last fight.
The Springolds didn't fire. They did retreat. They're still alive, though, and yeah, the knights disappear. The Springolds still not even attacking the horse archers, but it doesn't matter, Nilly. It's a little difficult for me to make sense of that one there, to be honest, near the end in the engagement. But domination from Mista, and I have to say, he really proved me wrong after game 1's passive opening, and like just some of those small things that we felt he could have done better. What a great performance here with the Mongols. Yeah,
looked like kind of how he wanted to play it, right? Spearman early on, the defense went for some scouts, actually knew, okay, Rus are likely to play this, and then actually carried those carcasses over, allowed him into a very reasonable castle age timing, and then those Springolds being built on the field, they feel mighty strong.
And the stone and gold count with Mongols, and I've been watching some games with Mongols offline, like this is a very common theme with them, and it's just so good. You know, the excess wood doesn't really mean much for MarineLord there. He needed to prioritize other resources to maybe get some units out there, but just missed to kind of beat him to the jump there and just got the party started too quickly. MarineLord was not prepared. So we have a 1-1, and this is extremely exciting. The first best of 5, again, was not the most exciting for me. Not sure about you, Nilly, and this is getting me in a really good mood now. Like, let's go. I want to see a different map. We will have a slightly different Civ matchup, at least.
Oh, we could still see lots of French, right? So far, MarineLord, no more English. TheMista, no more Mongols.
Yeah. But French is the Civ you're always thinking of when going into a game anyways, so. I could see a French mirror, maybe, because this is so close. You want to hope the opponent goes for French and go for some type of a strat that can counter that. Not that that's so easy and it is map dependent, but beat the French. I guess they can still use the French again on you, but it does definitely help you out in the long term. Boost the confidence at the very least.
Okay, I quickly need to pee. Be right back.
Okay, enjoy. Well, I was going to ask Nilly what he thought that MarineLord could have done differently there.
All. Let's see if they are already in the game. Nope, don't think so. How are you enjoying the show? Henry, why you use your old chair? I have multiple chairs. I use the Game of Legion chair most of the time to play PlayStation in the living room. Yep. Das ich soll. Oh, you waited too long to ask about his chair. Respect that. Can't use nor on emote only. What, really? That's bad. Shouldn't be a thing. Stepped out, MarineLord 1. TheMista in-game. Okay. Do you think Mr. goes through? That was my prediction. Would only allows only Twitch emotes. Not. Oh, that's bad. That's bad. So 4 minutes to go. First of all, promise too many game chairs. Not too many, no. What you playing on PlayStation right now? Finished. How is it called? Basically a co-op game with my girlfriend where we had to break out of a prison. It was really nice. From the same developer of It Takes Two. That was sweet. And some Trackmania. Some Hitman. A Way Out. Yep. Well, really good. Yeah. That was such a nice game. Really loved it. Yeah. Okay, let's listen to Tristan again a bit.
Off with an overlay because sometimes it can spoil when games end if you're behind. Fortunately, we're right behind the spec delay, so it shouldn't be an issue today. Like casting a live game when you're not exactly at live time, that will spoil when the game ends. So just small things like that. Like they probably didn't test this stuff. They just put it on the back burner. So I think quick GG is such a bad idea when there are so many unknowns about the potential ways to come back in this game. He was dead. like I don't consider that a fast GG there, Ronald. He loses his entire army. He doesn't have the resources to make any army to deal with that.
Ronald is such a clown.
Wait, what? Who's a clown?
Wasn't the guy Ronald who said fast GG?
Ronald, yes.
Name checks out.
Yeah. Hopefully he knows what you're talking about, so he's not offended. But like, I don't think that was a fast GG. I agree that players should play on a bit longer and try things, but I think in that instance it was definitely over.
There's also no comeback mechanic there. And like we don't know, but they played the 500 games.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he said he didn't see the specific game. Isn't that classic? No offense to you, buddy. He's calling himself Old McDonald now, so he got it. But like, that's classic Twitch chat or Facebook chat, whatever, right? Like, I didn't see the game, but nah, I like it. I think he's coming from a good spot with that comment. Losing army mass is super hard to recover from in this game. Yeah, Nilly, did you hear my points while you were in the restroom, or?
Yeah, I had your Facebook stream open on my while going to the toilet. I agree with your standpoint there, yeah.
Okay. I don't know if you're being sarcastic, but thank you. And maybe this is weird of me, but like, I assume I was muted on your end, but if I step away and you or Dave or whatever continue to talk about something, I'll actually have my phone up with the stream so I can hear what they're saying. That way when I come back, I'm not behind. So what I was saying was, I think that what's weird to me is that there was only like 30 kills in that game, and it's game over in Castle Age. That's different from, right? There's not as many unit kills overall. Each unit matters a little bit more, and I think maybe it snowballs a little harder too.
It was very different, right? This one was the case where simply one person couldn't attack and the other one couldn't attack. If you see the difference there. One person was fighting counter units, the other one had the immobile units. So it was destined to clash in one major fight.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying the way that game plays out is how every game's going to play out, but just, a bit different. Here we have the next game here, game number 3, Nilly. This has just been such a good set so far. MarineLord in the blue playing as the Mongols, who he just lost to. And we have Mista going for the Franks. He did open up the series with the Franks and lost with them. But you and I were talking about the professional scout upgrade. Maybe we'll see that again from him later on. I forget the name of the map, actually. But we did see that earlier on today, so Nilly is going to help me out with that one.
Obviously, Mountain Heights, no? Yeah, Mongolian Heights.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, I just said that a few minutes ago, my bad. 3 crossings, Nilly. And then you sometimes see that walled up. Other times you see more aggression. Do you think we'll see a more aggressive or defensive matchup in this one?
I think against French, you can't allow them to get control and get those hulks out. So if you're Mongols, you have to tower rush. You have to go aggressively with some spearmen here.
Okay. It's interesting that Hulk, which is... I mean, it is an expensive ship, but it's interesting that 1 or 2 of those ships are just so strong and something that people have to fear to the degree where they're actually going to be more aggressive.
Look at the amount of sheep Mr. has behind his scout.
Woo!
And now, look at the other scout.
I'm trying to find it right now.
One in the left, one in the right.
Yeah.
Crazy amount of sheep for him.
Wow.
20 sheep.
Oh, he's got more scouts with sheep, you're saying?
Yeah, he has 2 scouts.
Oh, yeah. I see it.
10 sheep each.
You said, he has a lot of sheep, and I looked at one scout and figured that was it, because that's a ton, even if it's just one of them, but he's going to have food for days there. 250 food per sheep, as opposed to the 100 from age, too, so...
And not
sick.
rotting, right? You get more like 85 till 90 out of a normal sheep in H2.
Wow. Well, that's certainly a good start, especially considering the civ. Like, feels like Franks are a civilization that everything's going to go pretty smooth for them regardless, so that will certainly benefit them. But sheep do collect slower than some of the other resources, so I guess there's a safety aspect, but just something to keep in mind.
Very early outpost here by Mista, next to his gold. He's scared or what? That really surprises me.
Isn't it 100 wood for an outpost?
Yeah. That's at the 2-minute mark. He was thinking MarineLord was tower rushing.
Wow, okay. Have you seen a lot of successful outpost rushes in this game?
With Mongols, yes, they're really good. Yeah.
Okay.
You can upgrade those towers. You obviously get the aura for all your towers, can move faster. Production
Mhm.
behind this is quite fast. So, Mongol Tower Rush, especially like Hera, got really punished the other day on stream. Apparently, cursed about Mongols quite a bit.
Well, it's coming full circle. Hera used to get tower rushed and tilted for days against Vivi in Age 2. He figured that out, and now welcome to Age 4. I'm sure he's going to be vocal about that for some time. All
Remember
right, so
though, towers, the only building that you can't move for Mongols. Everything else can move.
yeah. Good point there. Yeah, that would be a little strong. I'm glad they thought about that one. But you see, no surprise, the School of Cavalry on the way up now for Mista. Um, Decently fast time here, actually. I don't think it's going to be something too outlandish. Still will be low to mid 4 minutes, but we'll probably be making Royal Knights nilly. He's got the gold protected. He's got the food, and he can make Royal Knights. What are Mongols going to do against that?
Oh, Spearman feels like the reasonable option. Technically, Mangudai would be something as well. I'm not the biggest fan of Mangudais there. Archers can easily be added. Everything else is really compact. I think it's going to be the Spearman into Archer play.
So you can see the scout now attacking the dock from MarineLord. Not the biggest deal, but this is basically saying, hey, I know you're there. And you've got quite a few fishing ships. And I actually was late to spotting that, Nilly. There's not a dock at all for Mista right now. So he has the sheep, but he does not have fish. And he might not even prioritize docking at all. It would be a good idea, maybe, but haven't seen it yet.
I'm a bit surprised. Maybe feels okay with the knights. I will get enough aggression out anyways. Enough control. Maybe simply tries to attack the dock then. Docks, well, they will go down reasonably fast against scouts and knights.
I mean, you take the dock out, it's essentially like killing these 6 fishing ships. Granted, they can be used later, but maybe that's an idea. Or maybe he starts to... Oh, here he comes. He's going to place an outpost there. And that's a pretty good idea. Granted, I'm not too sure the outpost is going to do enough damage against the fishing boats. Remember, ships heal next to a dock, and there's also tons of food on these shorefish. So I feel like the outpost is actually not a play that I love.
I think he cancelled the outpost as well.
Yeah, he did.
So
He's going to go range.
Yeah. I think that makes lots of sense. First knights now in production as well. Still so many sheep under his town center.
Yeah, okay. Interesting stuff here. Spearmen have been coming out. Mongols are so fun. I mean, I suck with them right now, but I just love the whole double production thing. It's such a unique concept, and you got to think about the placement and everything. You're using some of that stone you get from the Uvu. Yeah, this range definitely feels correct right now. As we check the eco units, 28 eco units for MarineLord. Look at Mista at 25. So French TC's working faster, but there's fishing ships for MarineLord.
MarineLord only now reaching fuel age, though. Now the archery range. So Spearman instantly getting the upgrade to hardened Spearman. But will take some time to get an answer against the first archers out.
True. How many archers are out there, though? You've got 2?
Yeah.
Not too many.
Well, we are 6.5 minutes into the game. Scouts
I
under
love
the
how
TC.
MarineLord is tracking this Royal Knight. Like, he could lose his con, but I just like how he's tracking it, because the thing that you're really fearing from the Franks is that they run in with 1 or 2 of these Royal Knights and snipe villagers.
Sneaky villager at the left-hand side. And I know that you get excited about stuff like that. Is it going to be a sneaky dog, or does she have a different plan?
I don't know. Is she going to build on the hunt, maybe? I have no clue. Like, she kind of doubled back here, which is very odd. Like, she walked all the way over here and now is heading back.
Huh.
So I get... maybe that was a misclick. Like, maybe he control grouped a Vil to do something and then tried to click the scout over that way, but clicked the Vil instead.
Knights now in the center. There is a junk out. Does a junk of damage.
I still can't get over that name. I don't know if I'll ever get over junk as a name for a unit.
It's probably actually the way how it worked, right? The junk existed, and then the penis was named after it.
Yeah, really?
It feels very likely.
I'm gonna switch the subject.
Like a long wooden thing would make sense, no?
Someone did link a web page where it talks about his historical accuracy of the junk, but I didn't get to take a look at that yet. I'm noticing in the north though we've got a very long journey, a very long trip from Mista with these Royal Knights, so he could maybe surprise MarineLord, who I think was making an outpost there actually, and it got denied. Maybe not as much of a surprise if the villager went down.
Is it actually good? Did it get denied? Maybe the villager. I didn't see the villager yet.
Oh, it's at 100 HP, but
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
think that's
sure.
the start HP, no?
I thought it was 10 or 1.
No.
It
I
would make
thought
sense that would be exactly 100 HP is very unlikely. So I think that might be the start HP.
10%.
I think you're probably right on that.
Huh, I don't really know the HP. I think with like landmarks, it's like 25%.
Yeah, I think
Of the
regardless,
HP?
he had the junk there, so he's kind of keeping an eye on that. But at least he knows now. MarineLord on the way to the next stage right now. Mista not. So I was keeping an eye on those resources. MarineLord looking to zoom right through. As I'm really... As someone who loves knights, it bothers me so much to see that these knights have not even tried to do damage. I know it's still tough, especially against the Mongols, but like trying to get through in some way to do damage with knights just sounds like such a good play.
Yeah, but Mongols are just so compact here. And gold
Yeah.
next to the TC, wood next to the TC, had the hunt or the sheep under the TC as well.
Yeah.
Only
It's like-
now needs to expand to the deer.
Yeah, when he's a bit more comfortable. It's true. Now, I guess you could also make an argument for not making the knights if you think that compactness is going to be an issue, because Royal Knights are not cheap. As here you have MarineLord on the way, and MarineLord seems like he really understands what's going on here. He's about to be in the next age, and the outpost not up in time for Mista on that wood line.
And I think you could make a reasonable argument for stopping knight production. He still has 2 more knights in the queue, more archers. But I don't think like 2-3 more knights will add too much. I think Castle Age is the way to go here.
I think it's that classic spot where you feel like the opponent's going to be up faster than you. And if you try and delay production, they're just going to be in the next age with better units, and you're taking your foot off the gas with production. Maybe he feels like he has to continue to produce here, but he is kind of saving some res at the same time.
That's a second
he is getting
stable.
cavalry right now. Yeah.
I'm not sure how much I like this. Pulls the villagers away from the berries at the top.
Oh,
Okay.
he's scared right now. He
Drop
seems really unsure of what to do here. And remember, MarineLord will be in the next stage and has had better eco because of the fish.
Deer carcasses being dropped off again. Mr. lost that play, but as we mentioned earlier, takes quite some gold away from you. Not too far away, only needs some more gold to click to Castle Age, but takes quite some time to get there then.
I feel like just having additional eco units that you don't have to pay attention to is so nice. Like fishing ships, you just send them to a resource and you don't worry about it. Whereas the scouts definitely need to work harder on it. As we see the guild hall as the choice for Mista, as he's going to try and reach the next stage, but fairly late compared to MarineLord. And this is where, at least thinking back to game 1, MarineLord can really shine with a lot of ranged units, with some spearman buffer. See what his choice ends up being, or if he wants to switch into anything else here.
Builds a second barracks, so will be double barracks. Now upgrades his spearmen, upgrades his archers as well. Blacksmith goes for armor and already has siege engineers, so not unlikely that we will see more rams.
Yep, okay, there you go. Ironed undermesh. It's a little confusing for viewers because all these things look so similar. And of course, there's no like global queue for us, so seems like you're doing a fine job on your end, Nilly, of showing this stuff. We're learning too. But yeah, there's the ram for you, Nilly, and we have outposts. This again reminds me of game 1. MarineLord really likes to have his outposts to protect a position and then push from that position. And taking out the School of Cavalry would be really good here. Be a very good start to this attack, as he's actually going to go for the range. Maybe he feels he's a bit more vulnerable.
If he takes
against
on the
archers,
range,
or
just
he's weak.
he's double barracks, right? So
Yeah.
the range actually threatens him more right now.
Also, the range is 1500 HP, whereas the School of Cavalry is 5000. So maybe it's
yeah.
a time thing as well.
Oh yeah. Clever choice there. TC obviously attacking the battering ram. And School of Cavalry likely to go down. This is a scary attack.
Yep. Okay, next stage is in now for Mista. Remember, Rams have 900 HP, which is crazy. But then again, if comparatively, you know, a Royal Knight has 230, so the scale is just a little deceiving.
Those are even better in Royal Knights, so the Castle Age version of it. And now we might see the first engagement. Knights also from the bottom coming in.
Oh, yeah, and the archers are there, so MarineLord's going to try and focus them down. Again, as we have a surround here from Mista, he comes in from the other side. This could actually work out quite well. Look at him distracted the spears. And the spears didn't get as many hits as they would have wanted on the cavalry. Still so many units from MarineLord, Nilly. This is a crazy fight, but Mista has to win this if he wants to win this game.
Oh, but looks better for MarineLord now, focusing down the archers in the back. Only spearman production now could actually be fine. 4 archers left, and now we're even moving the deerstones forward. The School of Cavalry likely to go down. Or are the knights now reigning supreme? Feels like it.
Oh, just barely, too. There's so many weak ones, but they've got so much attack that you're able to keep those alive. Like, in those really close engagements, with those numbers, the knights are always packing more of a punch with those attacks. And it's not like MarineLord has lost the position here. But, you know, he's unable to finish off the School of Cavalry, which is a fairly big deal. Economically, 53 right now for Mista. If you look at MarineLord, MarineLord's looking more at 54. So it's actually a very close game here, Nilly. And a very, very good set.
Oh yeah, absolutely love it. More barracks, another archer range being added as well. MarineLord just keeps his production rolling. 4 barracks now. And I think just going full spearmen could be fine. Some men-at-arms being mixed in as well. And only a single archer range, which actually produces archers right now. I think he needs to go on to Arbalest.
Yeah, I think Arbalest is performing better against those. Well, here's what's tricky, right? Like, do the Arbalest perform significantly better against the archers than the...
No, Arbalest worse against archers, but better against men-at-arms. And there's so many archers, so I think you can't really go for them. Yeah, I think archers is the right choice.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was thinking if he was worried about the Royal Knights here, he's already got the hardened spears, or the veteran, excuse me. But you know what's interesting here is Mista thinking about defending constantly, like still not confident enough to peel off a knight or two. Granted, it is tougher to do against the Mongols. And maybe he wants to go for a surround again, Nilly. Oh, man, this is an amazing fight. I'm so excited for this. Look at this. We have the surround coming in from Mista. He knew this push would come in. And big surrounds. Oh, my goodness. This is a great surround and fight from the backside. Hitting and running from MarineLord working out here, but still, it almost feels like a 50-50 situation where Mista will clear this. He'll take out the ram, and MarineLord won't be all but finished, but he just can't advance any further in.
Oh, some spearmen there at the top went for the archers. I think MarineLord could have taken a bit of a better engagement. Maybe didn't really have all his groups set up for all his units there. And just think about, like, if he finished like 2-3 more towers there at the front, the engagements would be so much easier for him.
This is such a good game. I'm sure that there's an Age 4 dev out there just like, oh, yeah, this is what we want. 75 pop or 75 pop, something close to it. And very, very close here. And still just trying to see where this will go from here. Like Mista, he doesn't have anything to back up and really take this position. He doesn't seem confident enough to stay there. He maybe is feeling more confident to counterattack now. He is going to send some units out across. This is good to see, but MarineLord will also see this due to the outpost there. Should have some time to react as he's attacking the dock from Mista in the north, Nilly. You see that?
Yeah, and I'm surprised that he's doing that with so many units. Knight counterattack that you already talked about. Well, let's see. Some pikemen or some spearmen here for the defense, and Knights disengaging. Feels like nice production by MarineLord. He can hold this.
Yeah, this is a great game. I like it. And dock will go down. I guess there's always that fear of the Hulk swooping in because the Hulk is so effective. Would also be very effective with units crossing the river in the center. I'm not sure if this was a fight that Mista tried to take. It looks like he's microing it, Nilly. He pulled the weak units back. Look at that. Oh, my goodness. What sick micro there from Mista. That was very well done. He hasn't lost a single unit. Maybe he lost one.
Certainly, really good. Now, if he just heals up and takes the engagement again in like 1 or 2 minutes, it's basically like nothing happened. And Mr. getting control over the center now.
Yeah, look at that. He used that fight to take control of the center. This is sick. You're starting to feel, like, even if this is a new thing for you, you're starting to feel just how good these players are. Multiple armies, economy to back it up, proper decision making. And, Mista finally, he's able to get that little annoying push out of his mind in the center. And he has more of an offensive presence, I think.
Wow, neither player really were in an extra TC, if I saw that correctly, right?
I think you're right on that. I looked, still 1 TC for Mista. MarineLord still on 1 as well.
Oh.
MarineLord are also not really banking a lot of wood. Like, he's got tons of gold right now, nearly. But he does not have a lot of wood right now. I wish... Okay, he's got 16 on wood, which doesn't feel awful, but he's got 44 on food.
Oh, MarineLord, he has a scary army, though. Could this be enough? Like, it's way too few archers for the Mista.
And just military in general. It's 28 military for Mista, and it's 55 for MarineLord.
Oh, Knights in the base of MarineLord.
Oh, big raid. And no reaction from MarineLord. And, okay, he does react now. He hops into the TC. There's not enough room for all of them. That's a good move for Mista, but can he defend from the big attack as we have a ram on the School of Cavalry again? And I don't think he could take that fight. Those are insane numbers.
And Archer's even dying at the back there. That makes it way easier for MarineLord. Could even think about attacking the main TC now. Still no textiles, so villagers might die pretty soon as well. Another ram, and Spearmen are dealing with the knights in the back.
Wow, yeah, this is so good for MarineLord. It's just, I wish we had a global queue to be able to show viewers just how much production he has, because this is just off the charts right now. It also does come down to the cost of some of these units as well. Royal Knights are strong, but I think there's stages to it, Nilly. As Vista says, I have to take a fight. But is this a fight that he wants to take? There's so many veteran spearmen in there. There's so many veteran archers in there. These knights are strong. He has won fights before. Will he have enough?
Now not a single archer on the field anymore, so just full spearman production should be enough for our Mongol player here. It feels like a close fight, but the next one should not be close. But because MarineLord, he is fighting with an army composition against purely knights.
You know, I will say that Mista has a 10 villager lead right now. It is worth pointing that out, but I don't know if that's going to equate to catching up with 30 or so military. There's villagers everywhere that will go down.
40 military behind.
Go down. Yeah. Wow. What a crazy, crazy game here. You can see the overall KD at the top. Actually, if these stats are correct, I'm actually very confused on the military tab, to be honest. But we'll have to look later on.
No. Don't look at that.
Don't look at that, because my brain hurts.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, but now losing the main TC.
Yep.
If we lose the guild hall, which is now getting attacked, you're actually defeated. You can't continue to play. And it's 200 damage per hit by a ram.
And it's just, obviously he has to try and save that. And he's not in a position to save that. So he will continue to try. And he will continue to fail, and it's expected that MarineLord... I mean, he's got so much military at the crossing he could bring in, so he's actually very late with the reinforcements. They're defeated because he already lost the first landmark. If you lose your landmarks in AoE4, you are out of the game, and it's only villagers here. This is desperation now for Mista.
Oh man, tricky situation. Pop 75 against 115. Heavily repairing the guild hall. Is doing a reasonable job of fighting back with his knights, but as I said, MarineLord, he only needs to go for pikemen from here.
Yeah. What a sick game, though. I mean, this for me is the game of the day.
Yeah.
It had the back and forth aspect. Speaking of, I don't know what those villagers are doing on the TC, but they're going for a little dance party there. But yeah, I think MarineLord just doesn't want to overextend himself, Nilly. He knows he has the lead.
Mm-hmm.
So he backed up for a bit, wanted to make sure his army was there, and this is where Mista will be defeated. And probably call it, you'd think, before the guild hall goes down. He's got nothing going for him right now.
And now the expert caster that you are, at the top left, you can actually select landmark tracker. So that counts your main TC and all the landmarks. And if that goes down to 0, you are defeated.
What? I'm just laughing how they have that there, but they don't have like so many other things which are so crucial to casting.
Well,
Like,
it's a winning condition, right? If it goes down to 0, the game is over.
oh my god, wow, you can't just keep track of that as you look around the map. That's funny.
Well,
All
actually,
right,
I
well,
was casting an FFA on Thursday, and like we searched for one landmark for 1.5 minutes, and weren't really sure where it would be.
yeah. I mean, I'm not opposed to having that data somewhere, but maybe don't have it be the only thing that's on the box. Like, have landmarks is like option number 5 and column 5, you know? Anyways, we kind of feel like Mista's out of gas here. He's at 48 eco, 5 military, and MarineLord is at 122. And yes, the GG is called. What a series this has been. I mean, there's no doubt MarineLord deserved this one, but also no doubt Mista could maybe bring back and have some success in game number 4. Fun Age of Empires 4 right there.
Played French twice, lost twice. TheMista, once against English,
true.
once against Mongols.
Well, is it a situation where, again, a player seems to have a really good idea of how to counter the French? Like, I was thinking going into this that French would be really strong on the land maps, but I'm thinking instead maybe it's just that Boulder Bay, it's just the water maps where French are dominant. That's twice now. MarineLord has said, hey, screw your French. And he loves his Archer-Spearman combination.
Yeah, and played them so well. Obviously, with all the outposts moving a bit faster, and with all the production around the OVO, and it felt like Mista never really got into those archer numbers. Maybe second archer range earlier, something I would have liked to see.
Yeah, and in game 1, what I said was it was a concern that he didn't counter, but I could definitely see how that's an issue when up against the Mongols because they're so compact. I don't know, man. I mean, I look at some of these stats here, and it feels like, at least economically, like, let me look at the total resources here.
Yeah,
still getting
the scoring system is not working properly.
What? Oh, Nilly, this isn't a beta. Are you telling me that a game that people have paid for isn't completed?
Yeah.
Okay. But the things that are working here at least confirm that MarineLord had better eco. Now, granted, that happens when someone is kind of half dead for the last 5 minutes and they don't resign. But still, do you have any expectations as we prepare for game number 4? Will Mista try Franks again? He can still go for Franks because he hasn't won with it.
Yeah, like if he has trust in it, then why not? Why not, right? He had trust to play it again, so he can still decide the map as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think there are lots of French options here.
It's not like it's a bad civ, but
plus the opponent is running out of counters, right? If we consider Mongols a counter to French, that's not an option anymore.
As well as, what did he have, English in game 1?
Yeah, English. I think English are probably one of the best against French. I would think so.
Yeah. How would, I know that this civ is performing pretty weekly right now, but how would Holy Roman Empire perform against French? I know you said you played them for like a full day.
Yeah, I played them for 2 full days and dropped like 200 ranks. So
yeah.
I think they are not the greatest right now.
Okay. Feels bad. All right, we'll find out what the map is. The devs haven't said, or not devs, sorry, the admins haven't said anything just yet. But,
Mista's choice again, obviously.
Yeah, should be Mista's choice. There are plenty of options. I could maybe pull that up on Liquipedia on my side, but I mean, the thing is, if you think, like, both players have French available, so I think we won't see Boulder Bay unless they feel as though they're really good in a mirror situation. And I don't think this is a matchup where it makes a whole lot of sense to try and go mirror against MarineLord. Because I don't know, maybe I'm wrong on this, but I think MarineLord would be more capable and a little faster with doing this, whatever that meta is, if that's even there at this point. What worked well for Mista was out-strategizing. So they got to avoid a map that's one-dimensional. I kind of want to see Hill and Dale.
Let me check that one. Hill and Dale. Okay, it's a really wallable map. That could be a long game then. We have seen Mr. pick that one. No, we've seen Willise pick that one
Against Mista.
Yeah, and Mr. had a nice strategy with Abbasid there, I believe. He also played the Springald opening.
Springles are sick. Like I have of course had some conversations with people, and a lot of my Age 4 knowledge right now comes from casting, and then conversations. But like definitely feels like Springles, man. There's so many situations where they're just so tough to stop unless you make your own Springles.
Yeah, I think the unit design is not great there. Or we are lacking a unit that properly counters
That
it.
properly counters it, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like if you want to compare that unit to a Scorpion in H2, like a Mangonel, typically pretty good against that. Get some Knights in there. It's tricky, but still lots of figuring out. And they still haven't said anything about the next game, so I assume they haven't launched yet.
I was looking there as well, and actually they already started the game.
Oh,
Not
it says
sure about the yeah, and it will be a French mirror. We obviously don't know, and it's still 4:40 to go. So that just launched into the game, obviously to protect the integrity of the tournament. We will have a spec delay of 5 minutes, so they can't see. No one can give them any hints as well.
5 minutes. What do you think about that?
They wanted to go for 2, but 2 minutes is not an option in H4. It's 1 minute and 5 minutes.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
You can't customize it at all. There's no drop down menu.
You can. It's 1 minute and 5 minutes and no minutes. Okay. Or I think maybe 10. And then
I heard that
then
5 was bonus, so at least there's a minute.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like something we didn't have for AO2OD as well. It's just such an easy thing to add.
Yeah. I mean, if they have 3 options right now, they surely can add more later on.
Yeah.
You would think, because the system is set up. But I don't mind the countdown, but, I also like to talk, so it might not be for everyone. Certainly doesn't affect the players, so that's completely fine for them. I prefer, before they fix the spec delay, I prefer they add the map when you're loading in, so we could talk about that.
I prefer having the map after the game is over. Mountain Pass, by the way, French Mirror.
Ah, nice. Mountain Pass. Okay, so Mountain Pass we've seen... Wait, is it Mountain Pass? Let me load up Liquipedia here.
Nice.
That just makes you so happy. Oh, this map. Okay, so this can be a little campy as well, right? Because the wall potential is there.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, wouldn't be surprised to go for some palisade walls. Maybe even an extra TC together with the School of Cavalry is something we could see. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll find out soon enough. Was this the map? Does this have water in the center as well?
Is it that map?
You know what map I'm thinking of, right?
Yeah. It might be.
There's a map very similar to Mountain Pass.
Can we click on it? Mountain Pass.
Didn't show water for me.
Yeah, the screenshot doesn't show matter.
I guess we'll find out. You would think the screenshot would show water.
Nagari is the one with water. Okay.
Yeah, is that part of the map pool here, or is that just a different map?
I thought Nagari was part of the map pool. But I don't see it here. No, okay. It's not.
Okay, so no water then.
Maybe it's the one with the small lakes? Huh.
I don't know.
Mountain Pass does not have water. Okay.
Well, I've probably only been able to spectate a few dozen games, maybe like 50 games so far, and casted only a handful of those so far in my career. But honestly, that game you played against Viper with the Abbasid Mirror was really entertaining.
Was it Abbasid Mirror? Don't even remember.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, like I obviously that was my second Abbasid game or something, or intense game in total. Like I was really unhappy with how I played, but
of course.
The game turned out relatively fun. Yeah, but obviously also really boomy, right?
Yeah, very boomy. But I think from so everyone gets entertained by different things, and I think the more game knowledge I have with any game, the more I prefer the aggressive side. But at that point, I think you were learning Abbasid, I was learning Abbasid, and so it was quite a nice game to gain a feel for how the Civ would be played, and some of the other small aspects of Age of Empires. So um, I'm really happy that that people seem to enjoy it as well. And there were a lot of nice comments, like, "Oh man, Nilly's so good. He's not just a caster, you know. It's not bad."
Yeah, I have 3 different YouTube accounts.
Oh, that's interesting because that seems to line up with how many comments said that. I could see you doing that, Nilly. No, I'm kidding.
I could see myself doing that.
Yeah, really? Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
I don't
obviously.
have to make the joke then.
Like, oh my god, this Nilly guy. He is not only a caster. Comments like this.
So, like, recently, I obviously still watch Twitch, stop by and see stuff, and
Oh,
play
the enemy.
It's not the enemy.
Okay.
There's no enemies. This isn't a war. But as we get into this game, some people are always just like, I didn't even know T90 was good at the game. I thought he just sucked with farms, man. I get that a lot, so must be nice here. We have yellow, which looks quite nice, but I don't think the players had any say in it. And we have game number 4 finally, and we have the French versus the French Mista in the yellow, MarineLord in the blue. Very excited for this, Nilly, and I hope we get a game 5 here. Do you think we're going to see Royal Knights? Do you think there's going to be anything different than that in this game, Nilly?
I don't really know. What I know is that it feels like everything has to go through that one area in the center, and it feels like Mista can wall it way easier than MarineLord can.
That's true. It's just the way the map gen's set up. It's a longer distance for MarineLord to travel. Feels like a weird comparison for a high-level 1v1 tournament, but you know how in Black Forest there's one crossing in H2 and you have players wall it up? I wonder if MarineLord will take the approach of just scouting that and not really committing to the wall, but if he sees walls, protect it, wall it up later.
Okay. Well, Rams obviously always an option, trying to go for that, but I think it just feels so far out. I think we will see mainly Knights as an approach. What simply will change is that like sneaky side attacks probably won't be an option.
I'm trying to see on the left if there's a way to get over there. It does not look like it, despite the grassy, mossy terrain in the one area. I don't think you should be able to pass on that, but it's actually really difficult to know.
Yeah. I think at one point we will figure out what's like passable
right
and what not. I think I would think you can go through.
Okay. Yeah, so I feel it's just too much work to wall.
Yeah.
Better to control the game with military. So it's good to know that it seems like you can pass or walk on anything that has the moss or grass. Granted, there might be exceptions, but it seems to be the case.
You can turn the camera and look at it.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, my camera hotkey. Isn't the default Alt, or did they change that? Oh, there we go. Do you use that when playing at all, or do you just keep it fixed?
I don't, but I know that Tedo does. Like microing sheep and microing villagers, for example.
This sounds like a Tato thing to do. Yeah, I'm a player and caster who likes options. So I think it's really good they added that. A lot of people will enjoy that, but maybe not for me. And I think when casting, like, it's really important to remember where things are positioned, especially when you don't have go-to hotkeys available. And it could be a little confusing, I think, for casters and viewers if I'm moving that around all the time.
MarineLord is really struggling with sheep. No sheep under the TC, 3 only now coming in.
Whoa.
Well, we see 3 more for the Mista, so way fewer sheep here. I didn't even realize on this map.
Yeah, I mean, you just kind of, it's kind of like Dark Age, and you know the action's going to go towards feudal. Don't think about that too much.
I always rotate, so I play upwards.
Someone said they like rotated, so they're fighting to the north. They must not fight against people who do any type of funny business with counterattacks. Then, if you get good enough, person who said that, people are just going to hit you from the side and confuse you. Can you imagine, like, 1 year from now, we're casting Genesis 2? It's like, oh my god, And Potato 69, he always rotates his cameras. So he got attacked from the side. Okay, sorry. It's been a boring game so far.
Maybe it's like a jump and run player from the old days and is only used to walking in one direction.
Maybe. I'm looking at the income per minute. Granted, this does change. But it does seem like Mista has a little bit more food income, which might stem back to the sheep. We'll have both players in the next age in no time. School of Cavalry almost completed here for Mista. If I'm not mistaken, MarineLord, yep, he's doing the same, and he's just a little bit behind. It seems like both players sticking with 2 villagers building this. Do you think there's going to be some testing, some additional workarounds with the builds in terms of how many villagers build your landmark?
Well, we already, with GL, did the math and know when to use 2, 3, or 4 villagers.
Okay. Well,
eventually people will figure out and know stuff. Yeah.
So you're telling me the fact that you're playing competitively now compromises your ability to cast games well?
For forever, basically, or for quite some time.
Yeah. All right, as long as you admit it, Nilly. Now, you could also argue the fact that I'm not on a competitive team compromises my ability to cast games well. I don't train with excellent minds of the game, so we're in the same boat.
Yeah, I really appreciate Tato for that, right? He just simply sits down, opens an Excel file, writes down numbers.
And then Doubt shows up and says, okay, Tato, what are we doing?
He doesn't care. Yeah.
Well, we have 2 scouts out here for Mista. An approach we talked about before, Nilly, was the professional scouts with Franks.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to try and keep an eye on his mill, if he even has one, to be honest. I don't know. Yeah, he's got one.
Already is getting the upgrade.
Nice.
And do we have it on both sides? Yeah. I think both players are going for it.
Okay. Makes sense in a more campy game, so they'll start picking up the hunt. But, we do have a Royal Knight coming across the mountain here from MarineLord. But there's also a Royal Knight waiting for Mista, so I don't think he'll take too much damage to this.
Interesting. So both heavily going for the carcass movement here? Simply because the map has so few sheep. Apparently that's the approach. Wow, I didn't know.
Certainly not as much sheep as the previous game.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy to me that Mista lost that one with 6,000 food. I'm probably way off with the math, but...
No, it checks out.
Okay. Nilly did math on stream. Surprise, surprise. Well, this is what I like to see with the French. I'm not saying it's the correct play. I think Mista is even expecting it. I think he saw something that would indicate to him that this could be coming. But, well, that's a lot of vision on the scouts. Yeah, so he saw it. But I like the whole one knight running in, sniping a vill or 2, and running out type of thing. Because I think if you do it right, you could actually avoid even losing your knight, even if you take damage. And here you go. Here it comes. And he sees the defensive knights, and he chooses to run away.
Yeah. Gets 2 charge attacks against him, but simply gets home. Eventually, chivalry will come in, so not a big problem. Food not always dropped off that close to the TC, I feel, at MarineLord's end.
MarineLord's end. With the sheep.
No, the deer.
Deer. Okay, yeah. I thought it was sheep, and I was alarmed, but he's out of sheep, so... Yeah, I mean, there's still plenty of villagers collecting sheep right now for Mista. He's floating more food.
It's mostly deer. I think it's mostly deer. It's one single sheep there. The rest are deer.
Sorry. Yeah, my brain got confused. The carcasses are right there in front of me. T90 blind. But, the point stands that he's got so much more there. And he has 700 food income per minute versus 400 right now. Mm-hmm. I think Mista's doing a better job with resource income. And you know what's weird to me about that, Nilly? Is there hasn't really been fighting. So I guess I wish I could check the scout numbers easily. Maybe I should count them manually, but maybe he has a few more scouts collecting the hunt right now.
I thought it was 3 for both.
3.
Yeah, I think so as well. Some knights around. Really passive game here. And I'm a bit surprised that we aren't seeing extra TCs.
Yeah, maybe that's a possibility. We're not seeing any stone mining here. That's a gold income. I mean, it seems like they're playing out into a lot of Royal Knights, but we have seen instances where maybe it's better to save your food and save your gold and just go to the next age. And wow, they're pretty identical with the resource per minute now. MarineLord actually floating more in the way of each resource. So certainly stuff he can do with that, Nilly.
Oh, MarineLord. Oh no, but Knights are coming over. The Mista
Yep.
spotted the Knights, so not a big problem. Maybe the first engagement of the game. I think KD should still be 0-0, right?
Yeah, it is. This
Yep.
has been fairly boring, but it's a build-up, and I think that build-up is actually really important to a strategy game. Coming from age 2, where games regularly go on for an hour, comes as no surprise, but still, like, as long as it's a mirror matchup, so there might not be a ton of diversity in terms of what they do, but as long as it builds up towards some interesting strategy and positioning, excuse me, which we haven't talked too much about, it could be nice.
Guildhall now for MarineLord, who also did wheelbarrows, so should be better in the economy aspect there. Second stable for Mista. Is he actually going for an attack here in Feudal Age? Has the blacksmith as well.
And maybe, I mean, we thought that there would be a lot of aggression up the middle, and we just didn't see it yet. But maybe we will start to see that. We have the Guildhall on the way though for MarineLord, so he's not taking the same approach. He's hoping to get to Castle Age faster, and so he's cut military numbers. Here comes Mista to punish him for that.
Oh, let's see. Knights, they really don't want to take the fight, and one is trapped!
Oh man, I hate it when that happens. Sometimes you just get stuck next to the gold. Can't even run away. And now this brings me back to if resources are exposed or not, right? And because they were both using professional scouts, there's actually not a ton of villagers exposed here. The gold position will be relatively safe because it's on the back side. So see if Mista has even scouted this. It's very possible because he's been scouting other things he doesn't know. But he does know. He's actually looping around. He does know where the gold is. Would not surprise me to see him try and focus on that. He can also see Guildhall's on the way, so he knows that the opponent is on the way up and likely faster to the next stage.
Oh, now takes engagement. One villager down. First Knights under some attack here, but it feels like with the TC fire, the Mista has to disengage.
So, I mean, it's tricky, but I feel like MarineLord... Oh, he forgot a unit here. That's a big throw. He forgot a unit. Okay, he saves it. But it feels like the approach is slightly better for MarineLord, because he should be able to get to the next stage faster and then maybe get a few more upgrades. But at the same time, it's not like Mista is that far behind. Mista can always fall back to the hill, fall back to his base, and just wait for his own.
I think now take the attack in the center is a good thing with the same timing that the Knights are getting at the gold. Villagers are being pulled. Now maybe move in at the wood. It's not easy. And spearman production won't be that fast for MarineLord.
Yep, moving on the golds, and then here you come into the wood line. I love this. This is what you need to do with this type of unit. And great defense there from MarineLord, Nilly. And the new age begins for Mista.
We already have chivalry.
I think we're going to see so many knights. But I mean, it seems like MarineLord is more prone to mixing in spearmen. We haven't seen as many additional units throughout this series from Mista. He just, granted, he's played Franks 3 times, but he just likes to make the royal. He didn't make a lot of archers in the previous game. And someone in my chat said, if you don't make archers against spearmen, you deserve to lose. So, even the community being a little harsh on him, maybe he needs to mix in some other things here.
Let's see. I'm not a big fan of going spearman in this matchup because you can't really take any, or like you can't really dictate the fights for such a long time.
Yep. Yeah, very true. And also, it feels like the knights can still take decent fights against those spearmen because the knights are so strong and they heal up.
Yeah.
But there's just a lot of units for MarineLord right now.
Just kill a spearman, disengage. Woodline now exposed. Attack at the right-hand side at the gold as well. MarineLord has to pull villagers.
Oh, man, this is a really well-timed fight, and the villagers get pulled. MarineLord does react, but it is Mista with all the control of the game right now, Nilly.
Attacks at the right-hand side. Now wants to go for that engagement. Feels like not enough spearmen are there for the defense. Gold villagers have to be pulled.
This is what you're talking about, right? Like, the knights are still so strong against the spears. Yes, the spears don't cost gold, but Royal Knights can dictate the pace of the game. And it's not as simple as just saying, yeah, we'll just make both, because you might not have resources for that. I'm looking at MarineLord's resources. He's got 1,200 wood, but he's well behind in some of the other aspects. So, like, he is really struggling with being able to afford the number of units he needs, Nilly. And you could see, again, Mista comes in, and Mista at least forcing idle time. He is just having his way with MarineLord at the moment.
Loses one scout. Knights at the front. Maybe getting together with two armies could be a thing. Berries would be exposed, but MarineLord not actually on that. Stone really exposed now.
TC here from MarineLord. This is an interesting development. We have not seen a lot of second and third TCs so far in this series. And he's going to drop a TC there, and that will protect his gold and some of the wood line. So I could actually see this working for MarineLord. He hasn't taken a ton of damage. He is behind, but I wouldn't say he's hugely behind. He's behind by 1 Vil, and he's behind by maybe like 10 military. That's doable.
Ooh, it feels like a big fight is coming next. Those Royal Knights could be charging in. So many idle villagers forced as well.
Yeah, also, I'm wondering how the food income is going to look long-term here for MarineLord. I'm looking at income per minute. He's so far behind in food, it's not even funny. 300 food per minute versus 1,000 food per minute. He's got gold, he's got stone, he's got wood. But will he have food?
Triple barracks being dropped, but at the front there, that could be a lot of dead villagers trying to build their barracks, Tristan.
Oh man, and he's got to bring his army over here, and this is Mista taking the fight also because he sees the second TC. I think he realizes what that means. He knows the position here, everything we just said, he's familiar with, man. He's played a ton of games. This, to me, looks like a fight that is just simply not winnable for MarineLord. I know the TC's there, but there's so many knights. The barracks will not be completed. There's no idle time counter, but I don't see what you can do if you're MarineLord, and MarineLord calls it. We will see a Game 5 in this series. That was so well played from Mista.
Oh, yeah. And simply going for the knight that he played so often. Finally, he takes a win here, and we see a Game 5. So happy for the Mista.
But MarineLord has never won with French, and we haven't seen Boulder Bay yet. So MarineLord can play French again, Mista cannot. And at least per our conversations, we think that French is the best Boulder Bay civ. Will MarineLord think the same, Nilly? Will he choose that for game number 5?
I don't know. If you like pick French on non-Boulder Bay 3 times, I pray that the Mista has a plan. He's certainly accepted to go into Boulder Bay without French.
That's true. That's a good point. I mean, it could have been the other way around if MarineLord wins this, but this series has lived up to the hype. We have 2 players who are well known in other esports. They did play Age of Empires 2. They were available, but they didn't really commit as much time to it and weren't around as long as some of the other pros. And they have given us a series here. And this is, I looked at Liquipedia and their earnings and everything, and this is like a pretty big deal for their careers, right? I think MarineLord has been involved in more higher prize pool events with StarCraft than Mista, but like this could be, and I have to double check, maybe the biggest moment of Mista's competitive career in video games.
Yeah, probably, yeah. MarineLord, I would think, should be doing fine. Yeah, 100k in earnings in StarCraft 2 and 12k only this year. So he's been doing fine. Plus, I think he was a part of esport teams as well. So salary very likely there as well. But certainly for Mista, 7k would be completely breaking everything he achieved ever in RTS.
His total earnings is $3,619. His biggest prize cash in any event, according to Liquipedia, was $500 in 2014. No, excuse me, $503 in 2016. And that was quite a long ways away. Good to see new faces. Good for him, man. I think even if you lose here, he's still going to be in a good spot as far as prize pool goes for this event. So,
yeah, has to be happy with that for sure. Has been waiting for this game for quite some time. He always was active. He always was thinking about performing in big esports, and this is his big chance.
It's funny. As some people seem to know Mista pretty well. Nilly and I have known the guy too, but someone says Mista is a farmer. He said he won't play 24/7 most of the year. Only in farming downtime he'll be full-time player. Yep, that adds up with my conversations with Mista. He goes AFK usually throughout like the spring and summer, and he'll be like, "I'll be back once the farming season's over." So, still pretty cool.
So we'll see French versus English. My chat is asking. Well, depends on the map.
It's Boulder Bay.
It's Boulder Bay. Well, then I would assume French against Mongols.
It is going to be French for MarineLord, and it is going to be Abbasid for Mista. I really hope
Interesting.
there's a strat to break French on Boulder Bay.
I think there is.
Someone's got to figure that out because
Let me look at Abbasid tech tree here.
I should probably look at it as well so we can talk
Docks are
about it.
50% cheaper, which is really nice because you can play dock first. Units, construct rams and siege towers.
This is really bad, but
Push is faster.
I never went to the tech tree out of game before. Let's learn. Imagine
the dock.
that.
They only get the dough or Dow. Huh. That's kind of it.
Docks being cheaper is nice, but is it that nice?
Well, as I said, you can play dock first, and you can play crazy fuel edge timing.
Maybe that's it, yeah. Like, maybe there's a world where you open dock and get, like, a little bit of a lead with a faster feudal, then transition up towards a land attack, and then as they're trying to dominate water, you redock, but that's tricky, man. Those Hawks are going to be out there then.
I don't know.
Is there a world where going aggressively into the House of Wisdom is enough to compete with Franks? Or I feel like Franks would just take too much map control against you.
Maybe just Camel Archer play on land?
Maybe. I mean, I think the Camel Archers look really cool. So, at the very least, there will be some pleased people in the seats at home. That's the most Dave statement I've ever said before. Camel Archers look really cool. Actually, that's not really a Dave statement. That's a me statement.
Yeah, I think so as well.
That's a me statement when I don't know what else to say. I would prefer to get into the game here. But you had expected, and some people had even mentioned English. You said Mongols, I think. So it's not as if Mist is just picking the Civ without a plan. I think some things would have been tested and tried. We have 2.5 minutes. Winner here. Nili, are you talking about the previous results, or do you not want to?
We can talk about previous results, sure, yeah.
Okay, cool. Winner here will move on to the semifinals against Vortix. Vortix, the brother of Lucifron, who will be up against the Viper later on. But we will have I guess it depends on how you look at it, but pretty much like a non-AoE2 semifinal. That is confirmed. I would not say that MarineLord and TheMista are considered AoE2 players.
TheMista certainly not, and MarineLord, his main achievement simply are StarCraft 2, so it's non-AoE 2 players. Yeah.
Now, the bigger question is going to be Lucifron versus Viper and then Recon versus Hera. Are we going to have AoE 2 players in that semifinal? And I'm really pumped for that.
My prediction was no.
Yeah, but you did predict close sets, so you gave yourself a opportunity to bail out.
Yeah, I don't see Viper or Hera winning 3-0. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
What's the main reason you think that's due to? You think that's down to hiding strategies? Or do you think it's because like Recon and Lucifron are just as talented as them? Like I'm curious on your input.
I think it's hiding strategies, yeah. Like Hera, Viper just put out so much there. Lucifron, Vortex, best training environment possible, have been around for longer, more intensely. Like, yeah, I think they're simply prepared better.
If I had to predict, I would say, and this is, I don't really know. I haven't seen a lot of Recon, Lucifron in this game, but I think Lucifron will actually beat Viper.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Hera just squeaks past Recon, and then I think Lucifron beats Hera. I think Lucifron will, based on what I've heard and what little things I've seen, I think that he's going to be really tough to beat.
I'm scared for the Viper, obviously good friends with the Viper, and I would love to see him win. But
Yeah,
that's going to be a banger. Yeah, yeah.
and we'll see. 4 seconds till we get in here, Nilly. We have this best of 5 to conclude here, and I am like, I mean, this is already a successful best of 5 for me, but I have been really happy with how this developed. In the blue, we have MarineLord. In the yellow, we have Mista. This is for all the marbles, or not all the marbles, but to get into the semifinal in the Genesis AoE4 1v1 tourney.
And we already see different approaches here. You open with a lumber camp, send 4 on wood, and then only build your dock. 2 on food, I thought? Oh, it's actually 5 on wood, 1 on food. Okay, interesting. And then we're adding some more on food after that. And MarineLord even? No, that's a short fish at the front here, not a deep fish. And yeah, MarineLord thinks it's a deep fish as well. Nice dock opening. We simply have to look at the Mista's opening.
Yeah, the Mista's opening, because this is going to be different, right? The docks being cheaper means you can get it up a little bit faster. Also means you're going to have some savings when it comes to wood, so you can get that fishing ship out. The fishing boats are 60 wood. It seems like this build has been well thought out so far. Villagers never stop producing out of the TC, and Dock is in a position where we'll continually produce fishing boats.
Yeah. I'm liking the approaches here. The big question, though, still is like, what is Abbasid going to do? We mentioned several times that just going for one Hulk would be winning you any feudal age battle, basically.
If any Civ is going to break the French on water, maybe it's Abbasid because of the cheap docks. Like if you think of the Dows, for example, which I think we had guesstimated that maybe you need 4 to beat a Hulk, 180 wood, 90 gold, kind of like half the price of a Hulk. So I don't know, man. Maybe he commits to docks, but for me, I'm not seeing anything that really, like, I don't think giving up water and switching into land with this civilization makes a lot of sense. I think if you're going to do that, you might look at another civ like the Mongols, which is potentially more aggressive.
I'm interested to find out what the Mista's plan is, and so is MarineLord. Relatively early scouting here, sends his scout over, and we'll probably try to count some villagers. Okay, how much do you have on wood? Are you adding any docks? How much do you have on wood?
Yeah. Trying to make some weird comparisons here. This doesn't necessarily fit, but if you think of like Malians in Age 2, the ability to dock a little earlier, squeak those fishing ships out, maybe outproduce on water. But yeah, I mean, it's a pretty weird comparison there. You gotta really stretch your brain to think of that. 3 fishing boats for MarineLord. He's making the 4th one. We have 4 already for Mista. That's the difference right now. And ever so slight differences when it comes to the income per minute, and maybe Mista can snowball that as he's going for his House of Wisdom right now.
Relatively far away, right? I thought people would always build it a bit closer next to their starting TC, but still, influence looks reasonable. I still need to see something fancy out of the Mista. Maybe sneaky villager, maybe like a spearman siege push.
I mean, I don't know about you. I just don't want Franks to win on this map. For the sake of the rest of this tourney, I don't want Franks to be the go-to only Civ that can win on this map. I want to see someone break it. In terms of like future players to look for with that, maybe someone like Viper. You know, if he's put the time in, he's always been that type to try and. Well, actually, your teammates in general have always tried to break the meta a little bit. So who knows? But Mista gonna try something here, but in some ways he was forced to because he won with the Franks.
The Mista is actually going to boom. He will give up the water. And
that's a lot of fishing boats.
Yeah, but still, like they will bring in the food, and I think he will just give up water, and will add another TC now.
Yeah. Okay.
Interesting.
I mean, he does. He's collecting that stone nilly, which is probably the main indicator for that. And MarineLord scouts it. He's just passing by the stone, so that should tell him. If stone income is coming in, we're probably going to see the TC eventually. Very peaceful out here, Nilly, you know? Very peaceful.
Yep.
But
0-0
that won't
kitty.
be the case for a while.
Okay. What is
But I mean,
Mister's villager up to?
Mista's villager in the
Oh,
north.
maybe...
He got a sneak
No.
dock to save fish.
Yeah, but that was scouted.
Wait, the dock was scouted? Was it
Yeah,
scouted
like
yet?
the villager was scouted at least. MarineLord
Oh,
should
what?
be going into that direction now. Yeah, he's sending some over.
Yeah,
I,
he
I
sees it.
Still a villager at Shorefish and some fishing ships working, but I
Yes, sir.
don't think that's the greatest option.
I like the thought process from Mista because essentially what he's doing is he's not sending all of his fish. So he's hoping that he'll lose like 3 or 4 and MarineLord will go, "Oh, I've killed all of his fish and stay here."
But MarineLord scouted the dog, and TheMista saw that the villager was scouted.
Yeah,
I
but I
like
think
the idea in general, but after it's scouted, you're not really benefiting from the surprise factor of it anymore.
yeah. But I mean, I think even splitting it up gives you a little bit more longevity with some of your fish, right?
Okay.
Yeah. I think maybe he committed to it a little too early, but maybe I mean he's on double dock. Maybe he will actually compete for water here. We also like he could try that. It's not like that's outside of his possibilities here, but he's not really making anything out of the dock. So yeah, maybe. Oh
4
no,
on
he is. He can
gold.
make a Dow.
Okay.
And
Maybe it's
only
just to
one
snipe one. Yeah, look at the waypoint. He's trying to dodge the Hulk and then tries to snipe one
Yep,
or two
okay.
fishing ships.
All right. Well, there's that town center there for Mista. Everything very compact over here. Scout for Mista showing up, will be forced away. And we got Royal Knights on the way, and this is the worry. Franks will take water, they secure their fish, and then they just make Royal Knights against you, and you're playing very defensive while the enemy has lots of food income from their fishing ships. And it's like, yes, you can create more villagers from extra town centers, but the French player is going to have the lead for a while anyways because of the fishing ships.
What makes a lot of sense is that he went for fresh foodstuffs, actually meaning that your villagers only cost half the food now. So
Yeah.
boom, makes it even easier.
That's another weird name I'll need some getting used to. Foodstuffs.
Yeah, the German translation is completely weird as well.
We got like junk and we got food stuff. Like, did my 5-year-old nephew come up with some of these names? I think he could have done a similar job. But look at that. MarineLord spotted it. That Hulk is menacing. And it's ready. And I guess, like, Mista, it's not like he can use this to defend, so he's just trying to keep it alive. He's buying a little bit of time, at least. Can't dodge projectiles in this game, so he just kind of has to accept his fate here.
Yep, and Knight is going back as well. And I'm again happy that the main fight will happen on land. Another Dow is coming around. Let's see, can he actually snipe a fishing ship?
Well, yeah,
Looks
I'll
like
keep
it.
an eye on that, Nilly, because I know for whatever reason, your PC doesn't like water here today. But I think the answer is going to be, oh no, that Dow. Wow, I wasn't even, wow, okay, you're right. He did get one, and he could maybe even get 2 here.
Let's see if he commits.
He was able to get 2 so far, and he'll get to a 3rd one now. I mean, that's not awful. Certainly a lot more than I expected, but his fishing ships in the north, while they did survive longer, will probably go down to the Hulk. And now, water is completely won by MarineLord.
Yeah. Now adding fishing ships should be the next step. We're actually adding another Hulk, which I think is a bit of an overkill. Actually, another Hulk, so he goes for 5 in total. Only after that add fishing ships.
Okay, so we have 38 eco from MarineLord. That includes fishing ships. If you go over to Mista, Mista's got 44 eco and 2 TCs pumping. He's got double barracks at home, so he wants to defend with spearmen for the eventual knights. Nilly, he's still got 3 fishing ships hidden by the original dock as well.
Sneaky.
So I feel like Mista has done a fairly good job considering all the factors we normally talk about with the French on this map.
Okay. Villager count, we have 46 for Mr. MarineLord sits at 41. This one could be a long one.
It could be a very long one. Also, it's worth talking about how the House of Wisdom works. There's tiers to it, and you see that number that gives you the tiers. And if you get certain number of researches in, or structures, I should say, these structures increase the gathering rate. So if you get 10, you get 10% for all resources, 30, 15%, and research speed. can see the full list there. That is something that Mista is trying to do. Good prioritization here with land control, Nilly, as we have the triple barracks and lots of spears on the way. Fishing boat's finally down there for Mista, but he got some real life out of them.
Yep, yeah, has to be happy. He got so much food there. Surely one actually still fishing. And dropped off food. And you can hide fishing ships in docks as well.
What?
Yeah, up to 3. Up to 3. Yeah,
I actually did, I mean, I see that the number there now. I actually didn't know that until I saw it. That seems so weird, man. You could put knights in towers. Knights in towers makes more sense than fishing ships inside of a dock. Anywho, they're the spearmen. They're not, they're just spearmen, but you got the town centers, you've got the spears.
Yeah, those are the Dark Age spearmen as well.
Yeah, exactly. And look at this from Mista. He's got a scout, Nilly, blocking the wall from MarineLord. Very close to getting a kill, and just annoying MarineLord. Economically, it is 49 right now for Mista. Probably about to be 50 for MarineLord. He's at 52. So that's taking out the fishing ships, adding more fishing ships, adding up. And Scout fails to kill the villager. Oof, that's unfortunate.
2 HP left there. Nice move. Now goes for some walls. And MarineLord, he has 3 gold spots kind of in the back as well. So should get really good control. And should obviously uncontestedly get the sacred site at the very top. Simply because he has water control.
Ah, that's true. Yep, you can get up there. End up being quite important. The one in the south, of course, will be contested. Now, it's worth noting that MarineLord is not even on the way to the next age. He's going to go barracks himself. He goes triple at home.
I think MarineLord,
but he does not have the resources to go up to the next age yet.
I think MarineLord might be in trouble. Look at that. First Springboards are coming out. Mass barracks now.
What?
If he had like some rams. We are only now going to cast age for MarineLord. This one will get really tricky for him to hold. I think we need stone walls.
He's got so much production. Even from home, he had that production. I love Mista because his strategy, Nilly. There have been executional mistakes in this best of 5, but the strategy has always seemed pretty sound. And if MarineLord isn't up, and we're talking springled ram pikemen, what do you do as Franks against this?
Nothing really, especially not in feudal age.
No.
I'm really scared for the Mista here. Not for MarineLord, And this is a strategy he already played against Villice in the qualifier, so this strategy should have been known.
Yeah. And we talked about MarineLord maybe not being able to focus as much attention because of StarCraft, or maybe it's just a strategy that he felt like he could beat, by taking the water. But there he goes. Now he's in the next stage. Now things get a little easier, but the units are already breaking through the walls here. As Mista sitting with a really high population.
And he doesn't have any stone in the back. Uh-oh. He can't stonewall. He can't buy time for himself. Siege Workshop now coming out. I think even the counter is to go double Siege Workshop Mangonel here. It's kind of the only answer you have.
Yeah, I can agree with that. And here we've got another barracks. I love the amount of production buildings here from Mista. And this also means that there's no potential with this type of a map for any type of counterattack. No knights, no nothing. You're safe at home. I wonder, is there a world where the houses even get rams down here? Oh my god. Actually,
remember,
being on the
houses
front,
are also 10 population spot. So makes lots of sense. Oh no.
MarineLord is immediately housed due to that, and this is just going to get out of control. He's got to make more houses in the back. This is when he needs population, Nilly.
Oh, but Men-at-Arms. Men-at-Arms could be the answer. But it's 4 Springles already. I don't think Men-at-Arms are the answer against 4 Springles.
Springles, very tough unit to stop. This type of siege pikeman push, so difficult to push back. I think the Springles one-shot a Men-at-Arm. Maybe if it's not a one-shot, it's a 2-shot.
No, I think it's even 3-shot. They do 60 damage. Men-at-Arms is 155.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Men-at-Arms are really tanky boys. And now we have a Springles as a defense as well.
Are they going to be in time? Like, look at the Springles. They're just waiting. PCs only attack rams for some weird reason, and you can't change that, which is probably something you could classify as a bug.
I think it's genius. I think, but let's discuss that after the game, because this one's getting now really intense. 5 Springles. Oh, that's so much damage from behind.
Yeah, and like your own Springled isn't really solving the problem, but he's going Springled v Springled, and maybe it will solve the problem, Nilly. You got to be very careful here if you're Mista that you don't lose your Springled count, as this pressure's just crazy. He's got so many numbers. He's sending in his own man-at-arms now, Nilly.
Oh, this is so tricky.
For MarineLord. Mista sitting at 36. You can't come back from this. And some of the military count might actually be on water for MarineLord. That's not even his full military count on land.
Oh god, like 4 men-at-arms left now, disengaging. This doesn't work. Now he squeezes in a knight, but that's not enough.
No, you just can't take out these things with just a knight. Sometimes to counter Springleds, you need Springleds. And this is Mista abusing the fact that MarineLord was so late to the next stage, and this could be the end for the StarCraft 2 Pro, and it is the end. TheMista from Greece gets the victory. A come from behind one at that, and he countered the Franks, a civilization we felt could be so strong on this map because of those Hulks and all their eco. What a series that is. The best achievement of Mista's career. And he's not finished yet. He will be in the semifinals tomorrow. That was a lovely series.
What a good game as well to finish this one off. I simply think MarineLord, after winning water, he knows that his castle age time will be behind. He simply needs to stonewall to buy himself more time.
Do you think go to stone and stonewall instead of palisade wall?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Also, you want to go for more TCs behind this, right?
Yeah.
So makes sense.
Yeah, it's true. Go to stone regardless, yeah. I mean, he did palisade wall, so I think the concept of Mist is going to pressure me in Castle Age was there. He understood that, but Rams make such quick work of those palisades. And there was a big difference in the uptime. I'm trying to find that now.
Statistics, technology.
Yeah, 11-12 for Mista, and it was 12-47. And that is pretty unheard of keep in mind, this is like real time as well. If that was age 2, that'd be an even bigger gap because time moves a little faster. So, oof. Lovely series, Nilly. What do you have to say about Mista? I mean, I said that he was technically probably the worst player, but I think strategically the superior player.
I think even his macro is really good. Like, I watched his stream and he looked really